It took us 7 years to get here today, to get to this settlement and to resolve this matter. But what this settlement means is a systematic change in the promotional opportunities for women, in specific increased efforts in notifying women that opportunities for advancement exist, increased training on the appeal process when individuals feel they face unfair evaluations, and increased efforts to address and root out sexism and racism in the department.
The city settles a $1 million gender discrimination suit brought by 5 EMS workers. The women say they were routinely passed over for promotions by less qualified men. The settlement covers 5 years of back wages plus damages. The attorney says it was a win for all women in the workforce.
These kinds of reforms take years to do, and we believe these are strong steps forward. Are they everything? No, but hopefully someone else will push the envelope, as a next step.
The city law department calls the settlement, quote, appropriate. They note that women now hold 24% of high-ranking appointed positions in the EMS. 2 more discrimination cases against the FDNY are still pending.
They say they were prevented from reaching the ranks of lieutenant or captain in New York's emergency medical service because they are women. Today, those 5 women settled a lawsuit with the city and were ready to talk about it. News 4's Roseanne Coletti has their reaction.
Proudly wearing their EMS uniforms, 4 of the 5 plaintiffs were present. The settlement and their 7-year-long gender bias suit against the fire department and city awards them more than $1 million in back wages and compensatory damages.
I always knew I was doing the correct thing with this lawsuit and also at work.
The women charged they were discriminated against in the promotion process, and that unlike police, sanitation, and even the fire department itself, the EMS division does not require a civil service exam for promotions above the rank of lieutenant. And that, they said, left them at the whim of an old boys club. Captain Amy Monroe has a chapter dedicated to her in the book Women at Ground Zero. But though she received a favorable review for promotion to deputy chief, she was rejected 6 times.
I had a division commander tell me that he would never have me promoted, and I was under his command because of the fact that he would have to end up competing with me, and he did not want to compete with me.
While a third of EMS members are women, the suit noted that less than 1 in 5 captains and lieutenants were, and that black women fared worse. Lieutenant Mary Dandridge says she applied unsuccessfully for captain 5 times.
Quite frankly, you feel invisible, especially being a minority black female.
Admitting no wrong, the city law department says the FDNY takes immense pride in its 947 female EMS employees and dedicates substantial resources to fostering an equitable and positive work environment for all. The settlement does require the FDNY take some corrective measures, but not change its examination policy. The 5 plaintiffs have either already retired or almost, and say their satisfaction is in their legacy.
But we were tenacious. We didn't go away.
Roseanne Coletti, News 4, New York.
The women who got $1 million settlement from the FDNY talk about discrimination in the department.
They would all congregate in the front and smoke cigars together, and it was kind of a running joke in the headquarters that, there's the cigar club.
Well, today the women who sued the city are speaking out. Erica Pizzi is live in Midtown, and she has her story for us this afternoon. Erica.
Tamsin, 5 EMS officers claim they were not promoted to higher ranks because they are women. They say that the problem became so apparent they felt like they really had to do something so that they would have their voices heard. So they sued the city and the FDNY.
They would all congregate in the front and smoke cigars together, and it was kind of a running joke in the headquarters that, there's the cigar club.
The Old Boy Network.
These veteran officers say the boys club of the fire department's EMS constantly kept these girls out of play when it came to promotions. Instead of using a standardized test to base promotions like other public service departments, EMS chiefs appoint their captains and commanders. An EMS veteran of 23 years, Kathleen Gonchi, says she applied to become a captain 6 times before she got it, and she never made it any higher than that.
Each time I was turned down for various different reasons, and each time it seemed to be more and more ludicrous, the reasons that they were giving me.
Kathleen says she was a proven leader in the field, especially during 9/11 when she maintained command at Liberty Plaza for the first 4 days. Her story was even featured in a book called The Women of Ground Zero.
What happens is when you have this open-ended way of promoting people, human nature takes over. And we were unfortunate to be under the command of an individual who was more biased to promoting his male counterparts than he was to the female, even though we were extremely more qualified for the position.
Which is why these girls got together to battle the boys by suing the city and FDNY for gender discrimination. 7 years after filing the lawsuit, all 5 females involved stand proudly in their uniforms as they publicly announce their case is closed. As Pix 11 first reported, they settled out of court for more than $1 million. But it's not about the money to these dedicated civil servants. An EMS vet of 27 years, Mary Dandridge, says she hopes their high-profile case will create change.
If they really look and see as far as being fair, they will implement an exam.
I know eventually it will happen. It's just a matter of time because
Even though the city settled out of court, the FDNY denies any discrimination within the EMS, and they say that the numbers speak for themselves. 1/3 of the workforce is female, and they say that 5 out of 11 division commanders are women. But these women say the disparity is seen when you take a look at the captain rank. 16 out of 60 are females, and they say that's just not good enough.
We serve all New Yorkers, so this is a win for the 5 women here today. This is a win for women in the workforce. This is a win for the FDNY, and we hope that this is a win for New York City.